be locked and loaded. Nobody safe around me. I'm about to spread.
Happy Wednesday, everybody. Hope you're doing well the moment that you watch this. Sherm here, the crazy Asian, was off there for Christmas and New Year's, so we're back, baby. Wednesday, January 2nd here, heading to the office. Got a little bit of a later start. No pressing meetings. Do have a 11:30 orientation for the Houston West Chamber of Commerce, so we'll go on to that and do the podcast on the way there. Took off during the podcast as well, just to be able to focus time and attention on fam time. So hope you're all doing well. We'll talk to you soon. All right, everybody, made it here. Did the podcast on setting of goals, and I find that this is the problem that I don't like about New Year's resolutions. Is it's a practice of procrastination. That the moment that you feel like you need to change something or do something different, you should just do it. Why wait for an opportunity to delay your progression, your ability to get better? Just do it now. That was the podcast. Let's go. All right, so getting out the letters here for the new year. So got 100 of these. Glue stick, save my tongue from doing it. And save anybody from getting my saliva. You probably don't want that either. So that is what I'm doing. Like assembly line. Let's keep going. Hey there, everybody. It's Wednesday, but it feels like a Monday because it's the first day after the 4-day weekend. So hope you're all doing well. Very productive day. Got done what I needed to get done. The biggest one was getting out a bunch of Happy New Year letters. I had a little tiny calendar in there, a couple business cards, or one or four, depending on who I was sending it to, and realized that is basically a form of direct mail marketing, right? So it's very specific. These are people that I've met, and I was able to send out about almost 100 cards there. I have basically I think 15 more to be able to send out. And I need some people on their business cards that doesn't have an address, so I need to send where I need to see where I can send that to. After that, I was able to go to the Houston West Chamber of Commerce orientation. I was able to meet a couple good people there. And again, it's just about meeting other contacts, establishing relationships, seeing how I can be of value to them. I want to know their story. And so it was interesting just because as I was reflecting back on a few business cards that I've gotten, there was a couple things here. One, I was at an alumni association event for the University of Houston a couple weeks ago. And I had met a couple people there that work for Nabisco, and they distribute, like Oreos, Chips Ahoy cookies. And so they're looking for people that they're not sales reps. They go in, they help fill shelving, maybe like 20 to 30% of the time. And then the other part is looking for new business opportunities, whether that's going into the C stores, which would be convenience stores, or going into other kind of ma and pa, or working with distributors in order to get Nabisco products on shelves. And so it was interesting just because then I met somebody that worked in retail in outlet stores. So they're looking for people that want to work in retail management, and also maybe even the distribution center and their operations. The other person I met was from a bank, pretty traditional, but banks are getting a little bit more boutique. You're less of a teller, you're more of a business development person, so you're getting out, you're meeting people, and it can be really enjoyable for you. The next person I met works for a roofing company, and he came from hunting and tourism. That's what he had actually that's what he did all year round, was helping people that wanted to hunt. And he was working actually for a law firm that owned this huge ranch, and then the ranch, the law firm was having financial difficulty, so they sold off this ranch, and now he was looking for an opportunity got into roofing because he'd done some construction in the past. Just again, really unique when you look at people's career paths on where they got to where they are today. And then met a young woman who, I mean, young, she's in her 20s. She was working in WeWorks, which is a company that focuses in on, think of it like apartments for business owners or hotels for business owners. So if you want a small space, you just need a room to operate, they sell that kind of space. They have over 1,000 clients that rent space on 3 floors in the Galleria here in Houston. And so she had started out in Dallas and then came down here to Houston. Is really enjoying the Houston culture. She's been here almost a year. And it made me realize as I was looking at these 5 or 6 business cards, these people come from a variety of backgrounds. Some had worked there for 20 years, like the woman who had worked for this huge outlet company. There's other people that have had a different shift in their career, and it got them to where they are today. And so it was just really interesting. Number one is it reiterated there's a million ways to earn a buck in today's world. Number two is a lot of times what you start off doing isn't what you're going to end up doing, and that's okay. There's nothing bad about that. I just got actually a message as well. A friend had recently opened up a Hawaiian store, restaurant business. Restaurant business are tough, by the way, and they're grueling hours. And unfortunately, just due to circumstances, she didn't go into a lot of detail, but said that they're going to have to close the store. And that's sad. It's tough. It sounded like, from a lot of the comments from family and friends, this is a bit of a passion project, something that was a real big love of hers. And so to be able to have to do that, it feels like a failure because it is, because you're closing the store. You didn't want to close the store, but it isn't if you realize, what did I need to gain from that? For some people, they might realize, let's say, use this as an example, I still love the restaurant business, but maybe I need to get a broader array of menu items. Maybe I need to go to a culinary school. Maybe I need to go work for a competitor for a little bit. Or maybe I need a stronger network, so I need to get into the catering side of the business. That's going to be a little bit more of a higher ticket item, a larger margin in order for us to survive. And so building out the network might be extremely crucial. And then after that, came back to the office, had some phone calls that I had to make and receive, and talking with folks. One is organizing for our event on Monday that we have, big kickoff meeting. I'll be talking about business planning, marketing, and really shifting the mindset from employee to entrepreneur, business owner. Really is what want to help people shift their mindset to. And want to make sure that everybody's ready to go. Want to make sure that the agenda is ready to go. Reaching out to people that are new, that are going to be coming on board, and so we want to be able to make sure that those new employees are ready, that they have everything from the documentation perspective, that they're coming in and not going to be like, oh my gosh, what's going on? They're going to be very running right into our process. And so I wanted to do this. I am, just so you're aware, I am creating some more content on the journaling perspective, more from a family perspective, that I'm going to want to leave to my children, my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren. Think of this like the new version of the journal. It's a video journal, and I want to be able to just show and share what I'm doing specifically. So this has much more of a business spin on it. And then I want to be able to showcase more of that personal side. So they're going to be published probably a lot more on the private side, on the YouTube side. It's their choice if they want to eventually pull it into like the public eye, so to speak. Productive day. One thing that I did realize that from a marketing standpoint, again, a lot of you are familiar, I run 90 days ahead, so I calendared out for the next 90 days, have a very full calendar. I'm excited. I'm going to be speaking at the Gulf Coast Symposium for HR Houston There'll be about 1,500 attendees. I'll be speaking on social media in a compliant world and really how to get beyond selfies and pictures of food. And it's not about you being obsessed with the platform as much as you leveraging the platform for yourself personally. People call it a personal brand. We call it a reputation. Never before have you been able to control your reputation like you can right now in the free format that exists. Also, from a business perspective, it's not about spending all your dollars on 2 or 3 pieces of content, whether that's billboard, direct mail, commercial on the TV. It's now about quantity and quality. You're going to be doing both. You're going to have a lot of different variety in order to get more. Think about those old commercials that you might have seen over and over and over, and they might even recycle them from year over year, and because it's so stale, mentally you don't even recognize that it's even there playing on in the background. And so you're wanting to be able to grab people's attention. That is what I'll be speaking about in April, and so I'm wanting to be able to make sure that I get that message out in a very professional and a very concise manner. I only have 1 hour, and so I want to be able to put as much quality content in that 1 hour. And oh, by the way, just so you know, we're also going to have a booth there as an organization, and so the idea is to give out as much as possible Q&A. Come to our booth. That's the whole idea, is that you want to be able to get enough attention and excitement on what you're doing to have them then come see you in order to continue that conversation. At the same time, I will take a few questions to be able to help flow that conversation through, so I address some of the thoughts that are going on in people's minds that are sitting there. And so I think it'll be extremely powerful. And so I want to be able to practice that. I need to reach out to the Houston West Chamber about giving that presentation. I want to give that here in January and February and March. So that way, by the time I have it in April, it's a very concise, a very clear, a very well delivered message. And I want to be able to make sure that it comes across with a lot of excitement, a lot of value when people walk away going, that's exactly how we can implement that into our organization, and it can be extremely valuable that way. The other thing that I am looking at as I look at the year, right, because we're here in January, can kind of look out. There's this yin and yang about running at all in at the same time, kind of planning for the future. And so I want to make sure that from January all the way to December, I'm doing different events. I'm attending different events. We're promoting our organization at different events all the way from January to December, and what are some of those items, and making sure that we have a really good process in helping. And so there's going to be some stuff that's focused in on training and development for the for the team that I work with. There's also going to be things that are focused on getting our name out there from a marketing perspective, and it's those things like, think of them like evergreen. If we host it in January, we're going to do it again next year in January. Kind of evergreen. It's kind of reoccurring. There's other things just going to be a flash in the pan. We're going to do it quickly, and then we'll move on to the next thing. Very excited about what's going on. So hope you're all doing well. Hope you're feeling organized, and hope you're feeling like you're moving towards those goals that you want. Sherman's out.